The time is 12 o'clock. Here is the midday news. First, the top stories. OOU Agoiwe requests NUC to increase its admission quota. Buhari's conditional cash transfer and microcredit scheme ready for takeoff. Police investigating how its officers were beheaded and abducted in rivers. Atiku suggests a review in sharing of VAT revenue. On the foreign scene, Ghana's president-elect promises to probe outgoing administration, and Venezuela closes border with Colombia to combat smuggling. I am Simiat Abaru, bringing you the news in detail shortly. Now the news in detail. Olabisi Onabanjo University OOU Agoiwe has requested for an increase in its carrying capacity from the National Universities Commission NUC to enable it to admit more students. The university's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Sabur Adesanya, made this known while defending the 2017 budgetary allocation of the institution before the Finance and Appropriation Committee of the State House of Assembly in Abeokuta. The Vice-Chancellor told the committee that the university admitted only 6,000 out of the 17,000 candidates who applied to it for admission in the 2016-2017 academic session. Adesanya says that this with the new lecture halls provided at the university's College of Agriculture at its permanent site in Ayetoro and its College of Engineering in Ibogun, the institution can take more students. He asked the state government to extend its ongoing road expansion project to the campuses of the university. Meanwhile, the Moshood Abiola Polytechnic Abeokuta plans to establish a school of agriculture preparatory to its upgrading into a university. The Polytechnic's rector, Professor Oludele Ichiola, made this known while defending the institution's 600 million naira capital vote in the state proposed 2017 budget before the State House of Assembly's Finance and Appropriation Committee. He explains that 111 million naira will be spent on the reaccreditation of 17 programs and the accreditation of 7 new programs. Code of Conduct Bureau (CCB) has directed ministers, service chiefs and top government officials at all tiers of government to declare their assets in line with the amended 1999 Constitution. The Bureau Chairman, Sam Sambar, who issued the directive, says those who fail to comply will face prosecution by the Bureau's tribunal. He says that letter of invitation have been sent to those yet to declare their assets as demanded by the Constitution. Sabar commended civil servants who complied within the time frame stipulated in the Constitution and says that the Bureau will now deploy its field officers to begin the verification of the assets already declared. The Bureau Tribunal is at the moment prosecuting the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, for false assets declaration. Presidency says the data of beneficiaries of its social investment program, including conditional cash payment and microcredit scheme, have been compiled for the takeoff of the two schemes. Vice President Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Laulu Akande, who made this known, says that the data is conditional. Cash transfer of 9 states is ready, while the process of paying the beneficiaries is at the final stage. Under the program, he explains that 1 million vulnerable and very poor people will receive 5,000 naira monthly. On the microcredit scheme, Akande says that over 1 million people will receive small loans ranging from 20,000 naira to 100,000 naira through the Bank of Industry at very low interest rates. Already 10,000 market associations and cooperative societies have been registered for the takeoff of the scheme's pilot stage in 8 states and Abuja. Bayelsa state government has protested the modality for allocation of the new 10,000 personnel recruited into the police force. The state government describes the allocation process as lopsided and not transparent. It asked the Independent Corrupt Practices and Related Offence Commission (ICPC) Police Service Commission and Federal Character Commission to investigate its allegation. The state government, in a statement, while Bayelsa State was entitled to 80 slots based on the allocation of 10 per local government area, the state slot is given to non-indigenes of the state. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo says every Nigerian, particularly well-to-do individuals, must support the police in its difficult task of securing the country. Obasanjo made the call during the maiden meeting of the Ogun State chapter of the Eminent People's Forum, EPF, and the launching of Police Complaint Rapid Response Unit, as well as Change Begins With Me campaign at the June 12 Cultural Center, Kuto, Abeokuta. Obasanjo said this support will ensure a crime-free society, describing EPF as a good initiative from the current Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, for Nigeria Police to turn a new leaf and make the Change Begins With Me campaign successful. Obasanjo says that members of the public must give police timely information to nip crime in the bud and report erring police operatives to the dedicated phone line for the campaign. Governor Ibikunle Amosun, speaking at the event, called on the police authorities in the state to continue to tackle the issues of kidnapping and land grabbing by Omonile. Amosun, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Taiwo Adeoluwa, promised more support for the police as financial resources of the state improve. The State Police Commissioner Ahmed Ilyasu, also speaking at the event, said the EPF comprised of important stakeholders such as community leaders, religious leaders, traditional rulers, elder statesmen, retired senior security officers, captains of industries, as well as politicians. Force headquarters has set up a panel to investigate the circumstances in which two police officers were beheaded by a suspected militant while on patrol duty during the last Saturday rerun polls in Rivers State. A Deputy Superintendent of Police, Ali Kali Muhammad of Mobile Police Force Unit 48, and his orderly were beheaded by some hoodlums who ambushed them in Ogba, Ibema, Ndoni local government areas. 5 other police officers were declared missing while their patrol van and arms in the vehicles were carted away by the hoodlums during the attack. Force Headquarters spokesman Don Amwuna, speaking on a Rock City FM program, Daybreak Show, says the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, was worried over the incident. Amwuna, however, says that despite the violence, the IGP master plan for the poll succeeds.
Because there are people in rivers which in their DNA apparently is to make sure that they fight violence on the people. Generally speaking, the people of Rivers State are peaceful people. For this election, we had a massive deployment. Now, deployment in collaboration with other sister agencies, still having some election county results they are collating. But in the election of this nature, there are other stakeholders. The police cannot do other people's job. They have done the job that we are being paid for, and the job we are trying to do as far as the election is concerned. The issue is national security. We did massive deployment in Edo, was not successful. We did massive deployment in Ondo, was not successful. And those are templates that people should use as a performance measurement. Were people freely voting? Were they coerced? Were people prevented from voting?
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has called for a review of the modality for sharing revenue from the value-added tax VAT by the 3 tiers of government. Atiku, making the call at a book launch in Abuja, says states which ban the consumption of certain items should stop sharing from tax collected from them for VAT in the interest of justice. Explaining further, the former vice president says that if a state opposes the cattle tax, bicycle tax, pollution tax, or oppose the consumption and sale of alcohol, it should not share from tax revenue from such items. Atiku also says that states should be the one collecting taxes at the state level on behalf of the federal government and then be compensated on an agreed share of revenue collected. You are still listening to the Midday News from Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business and sport news. Please stay with us. Now in foreign, Ghana's President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo says he will set up a special team to investigate corruption, but said it will not be a witch hunt. He said his government would distance itself by allowing an independent prosecutor to investigate cases and make its own decisions. Mr. Akufo-Addo defeated incumbent John Dramani Mahama in last week's election. Mr. Mahama has been accused of not tackling a series of corruption scandals. He also warned that people in his government would not be immune from investigation merely because they are politicians. Mr. Akufo-Addo, who is to be sworn in on the 7th of January 2017, gained 54% of the vote, while Mr. Mahama took 44%. Venezuela has closed its border with Colombia for 72 hours in the latest measure to combat smuggling gangs. President Nicolas Maduro says the mafia operating in border areas is causing huge damage to the economy. Many items subsidized by Venezuela's socialist government, including diesel and petrol, are sold at a huge profit over the border in Colombia. On Sunday, he announced that the country's highest denomination banknote would be taken out of circulation to stop gangs hoarding the currency. Venezuela last closed most border crossing with Colombia in August 2015, and the border was partially reopened a year later. This time, Mr. Maduro said the border would be reopened after 72 hours, once the 100 Bolivar note ceased to be valid. In sport, Shagamu local government team have won the 2016 Ogun State Under-18 Football Championship after hard-fighting Abeokuta North local government side in a final match of the competition played at the Gateway International Stadium in Abeokuta. Both sides had ended the thrilling final match goalless after the regulation time, forcing the game into penalty shootout. The Shagamu boys won 4-2, converting 4 kicks, while the Abeokuta North side missed 2 of their kicks in the match watched by the Ogun State Youth and Sports Commissioner Afolabi Afuakwe, the State Football Association Chairman Ganiyu Majekodumi, and top officials of the Sport Council. Jonathan Olateju from Ikene local government, whose side lost the third-place match to Odeda local government team, was adjudged the most valuable player of the tournament, while Adodowa's side emerged as the best-behaved team. The State Football Association's chairman, Alhaji Ganiyu Majekodumi, lauded Sake Sintin Adebutu for his contribution to the development of football in the state, while urging other wealthy individuals and corporate organizations to give similar assistance to government. Real Madrid forward Cristiano Ronaldo beat rival Lionel Messi to win the prestigious Ballon d'Or award for a 4th time. The 31-year-old is now one behind Barcelona's Messi, who took the honor for a 5th time last year. Atletico Madrid French forward Antoine Griezmann finished 3rd in the vote. Ronaldo helped Real Madrid win last season's Champions League and score 3 goals as Portugal won Euro 2016. He has now won the Ballon d'Or in 2008, 2013, 2014 and 2016, with Messi the only other recipient of the award since winning it for the first time in 2009. That was the midday news, and just before we go, the major stories once again. OOU Agoiwe requested NUC to increase its admission quota. Buhari's conditional cash transfer and microcredit scheme ready for takeoff. Police investigating how its officers were beheaded and abducted in Rivers. Atiku suggested a review in sharing of VAT revenue. On the foreign scene, we reported that Ghana's president-elect promised to probe outgoing administration, and Venezuela closed border with Colombia to combat smuggling. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you for listening. I am Simiat Abaru. Good afternoon.